Hope everyone got some stretches in and enjoyed the ending of Pillars of Eternity 2. The next time we'll be picking up into that universe is February, I want to say 25th, when Avowed comes out. I'll be doing a release day stream. It will be a very long stream that I'm very much looking forward to. Yes. But anyways, on to Pathfinder. We're not going to be getting too far into this today, just dabbling into the intro. I have actually beaten this game before. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. I haven't played it in a very long time. I've also forgotten most of it. It will technically be a blind run, because I'm not going to be looking at guides or anything, but I've already done it all, so I know some of the stuff that we're going to be getting ourselves into, so it's not like a true blind run. But I'm very much looking forward to playing it again, and I'm very much looking forward to refreshing myself so that when we beat this, we can play the sequel, which just recently got released, or more recently than this anyways. So I am pumped for that to happen. We shall see. Gonna be doing us a new game. That is super dark. We're gonna fix that brightness setting because that's super, super hard to read anything. Like that. Turn that music down. Dear kings and queens, thank you for your continuing support of Pathfinder Kingmaker. We're glad you're having fun and that inspires us to develop this game even further. Best regards, Owlcats. That's neat. This is the main campaign. Explore the I feel like the music is still super loud. There we go. Explore the Stolen Lands, a wild territory that has been contested for centuries. Hundreds of kingdoms have risen and fallen in these lands, and now it is time for you to make your mark by building your own kingdom. To succeed in this, you'll need to survive the harsh wilderness and the menace of rival nations, as well as perils from within your own court. So I think the last time I played this was on hard, but I don't want to reload 1,000 times. I wish that I could do this without the game over from my main character dying. Oh, that's always. But I can still reload. I'm fine with that. If your main character dies, the game is over. If a companion dies, you can resurrect them with the Raise Dead or similar spell, an extremely expensive service unavailable to most adventurers. With this option enabled, your character and companions will not die after suffering a deadly injury and will instead receive a death's door condition. If they suffer a deadly injury while under the effects of that condition, then they will die. If your main character dies, the game is over. Certain conditions and effects can kill a character without triggering Death's Door. Yeah, I think I am going to do Death's Door because you're right. I don't want to do 1,000 reloads. With this option switched on, neither your character nor your companions will ever die from any damage or effect. They will only become unconscious and will rise after combat is over. No, I like the story aspect of people dying potentially, so I'm going to save that. Leave that on. Yeah, I actually have almost all the achievements for this. I haven't done the, whatever it's called, the bonus where you circle down like endlessly into dungeons. I haven't done that. I haven't beaten it on unfair, and I missed the achievement where you have to get 3 of your enemies onto your side. There was, yes, I think so. Yeah, the achievement where you have to get 3 of your enemies onto your side. I got 2 of them, but I screwed up on the 3rd. I think it was the kobolds that I screwed up on. I'm actually going to turn that on to make it a little bit easier. Yeah, somewhat tougher because that is normal, I believe. Enemies have their ability scores unchanged. That's what I want. What is this then? Difficulty class. Oh, well, no, I just want normal. Normal's fine. I'm fine with encumbrance. On? Yeah, I want to be able to retrain them if I would like to. Kingdom management, I feel like let's do normal on that. When this option is on, your kingdom can't be destroyed by unrest events. Failing the main story quest would still lead to the kingdom's destruction. I might regret this, but I want to try that for now. Only active companions receive experience, off. Only skill user receives skill check experience, off. Last as launch. Only one save slot is available in this mode. The game saves automatically in key points and upon game exit. I'm gonna say no to this in case there's something bullshit happens. Like when Aloth died, I let him die because that made sense. When Shodi died, that was stupid, bad game mechanics, so I reloaded. So I'm gonna leave that off just in case, but I think you guys know me by now. I typically just roll with whatever happens. This mode disables almost all interface hints and combat lines of attack. No, I want all that on. Yep. Off. off, off. This makes it more immersive for me. This is what I would like to turn off. That I'm fine with. Also, of course, we're making a new character. Come on now. I mean, as fun as many of these might be, we're doing our own. Humans possess exceptional drive and a great capacity to endure and expand, and as such are currently the dominant race in the world. Their empires and nations are vast, sprawling things, and the citizens of these societies carve names for themselves with the strength of their sword arms and the power of their spells. Humanity is best characterized by its tumultuousness and diversity, and human cultures run the gamut from savage but honorable tribes to decadent devil-worshipping noble families in the most cosmopolitan cities. Human curiosity and ambition often triumph over their predilection for a sedentary lifestyle, and many leave their homes to explore the innumerable forgotten corners of the world or lead mighty armies to conquer their neighbors, simply because they can. The physical characteristics of humans are as varied as the world's climes, from the dark-skinned tribesmen of the southern continents to the pale and barbaric raiders of the northern lands. Humans possess a wide variety of skin colors, body types, and facial features. Generally speaking, human skin color assumes a darker hue the closer to the equator they live. I haven't decided how I want to play yet. Do I want to be a magic user? I like being rogues, typically, in these kind of games. The long-lived elves are children of the natural world, similar in many superficial ways to fey creatures, yet different as well. Elves value their privacy and traditions, and while they are often slow to make friends, at both the personal and national levels, once an outsider is accepted as a comrade, such alliances can last for generations. Elves have a curious attachment to their surroundings, perhaps as a result of their incredibly long lifespans or some deeper, more mystical reason. Elves who dwell in a region for long find themselves physically adapting to match their surroundings, most notably taking on coloration reflecting the local environment. Those elves that spend their lives among the short-lived races, on the other hand, often develop a skewed perception of mortality, and become morose, forlorn, the result of watching wave after wave of companions age and die before their eyes. Although generally taller than humans, elves possess a graceful, fragile physique that is accentuated by their long, pointed ears. Their eyes are wide and almond-shaped, and filled with large, vibrantly colored pupils. While elven clothing often plays off the beauty of the natural world, those elves that live in cities tend to bedeck themselves in the latest fashion. So +2 to perception, +2 racial bonus on caster level checks made to overcome spell resistance. That's pretty good. Elves are immune to magic sleep effects and gain a +2 racial bonus against enchantment spells and effects. Proficient with long bows, long swords, rapiers, and short bows. Ooh. Dwarves are a stoic but stern race, ensconced in cities carved from the hearts of mountains and fiercely determined to repel the depredations of savage races like orcs and goblins. More than any other race, the dwarves have acquired a reputation as dour and humorless craftsmen of the earth. It could be said that dwarven history shapes the dark disposition of many dwarves, for they reside in high mountains and dangerous realms below the earth, constantly at war with giants, goblins, and other such horrors. Dwarves are a short and stocky race, and stand about a foot shorter than most humans, with wide, compact bodies that account for their burly appearance. Male and female dwarves pride themselves in the length of their hair, and men often decorate their beards with a variety of clasps and intricate braids. A clean-shaven male dwarf is a sure sign of madness, or worse. No one familiar with their race trusts a beardless dwarf. Y'all think I should play a beardless dwarf? Speed is never modified by armor or encumbrance, that's helpful. +4 racial bonus to combat maneuver defense. +2 racial bonus on saving throws against poison, spells, and spell-like abilities. Just all spells, that's great. +4 dodge bonus to AC against monsters of the giant subtype. +1 racial bonus on attack rolls against humanoid creatures of the orc and goblin subtypes. And keen senses. I'm leaning dwarf so far. Gnomes trace their lineage back to the mysterious realm of the Fae, a place where colors are brighter, the wildlands wilder, and emotions more primal. Unknown forces drove the ancient gnomes from that realm long ago, forcing them to seek refuge in this world. Despite this, the gnomes have never completely abandoned their Fae roots, or adapted to mortal culture. As a result, gnomes are widely regarded by the other races as alien and strange. Gnomes are one of the smallest of the common races, generally standing just over 3 feet in height. Their hair tends towards vibrant colors such as the fiery orange of autumn leaves, the verdant green of forests at springtime, or the deep reds and purples of wildflowers in bloom. Similarly, their flesh tones range from earthy browns to floral pinks. Frequently, with little regard for heredity, gnomes possess highly mutable facial characteristics, and many have overly large mouths and eyes, an effect which can be both disturbing and stunning, depending on the individual. Alright, they also get keen senses, +1 to reptilian and goblinoid, +4 dodge to giants, +2 ratio bonus to illusion spells specifically. Oh, that was for poison spells and effect. No, poison spells and spell-like abilities, whereas this is specifically illusion spells and effects. Add +1 to the DC of any saving throws against illusion spells that they cast, +2 racial bonus on a knowledge world check, and a slower speed but no benefit to that. So gnomes are out. Opportunistic and cheerful by nature, blessed with uncanny luck and driven by a powerful wanderlust, halflings make up for their short stature with an abundance of bravado and curiosity. At once excitable and easygoing, halflings like to keep an even temper and a steady eye on opportunity, and are not as prone as some of the more volatile races to violent or emotional outbursts. Even in the jaws of catastrophe, a halfling almost never loses his sense of humor. Halflings are inveterate opportunists. Unable to physically defend themselves from the rigors of the world, they know when to bend with the wind and when to hide away. Yet a halfling's curiosity often overwhelms his good sense, leading to poor decisions and narrow escapes. Though their curiosity drives them to travel and seek new places and experiences, halflings possess a strong sense of house and home, often spending above their means to enhance the comforts of home life. Halflings rise to a humble height of 3 feet. They prefer to walk barefoot, leading to the bottoms of their feet being roughly calloused. Tufts of thick curly hair warm the tops of their broad tanned feet. Their skin tend towards a rich almond color, and their hair toward light shades of brown. A halfling's ears are pointed, but proportionately not much larger than those of a human. +2 racial bonus on all saving throws against fear, with a base speed of 20 but no benefit. +2 racial bonus on athletics and mobility, keen senses, and halfling luck is pretty good, but still leaning on dwarf. Half-elf. Elves have long drawn the covetous gazes of other races. Their generous lifespans, magical affinity, and inherent grace each contribute to the admiration or bitter envy of their neighbors. Of all their traits, however, none so entrance their human associates as their beauty. Since the two races first came into contact with each other, the humans have held up elves as models of physical perfection, seeing in their fair folk idealized versions of themselves. For their part, many elves find humans attractive, despite their comparatively barbaric ways, drawn to the passion and impetuosity with which members of the younger race play out their brief lives. Sometimes this mutual infatuation leads to romantic relationships. Though usually short-lived, even by human standards, these trysts commonly lead to the birth of half-elves, a race descended of 2 cultures, yet inheritor of neither. Half-elves can breed with one another, but even those pure-blood half-elves tend to be viewed as bastards by humans and elves alike. Hey Tuck, how you doing? Welcome in, my buddy. How was your day? Half-elves stand taller than humans but shorter than elves. They inherit the lean build and comely features of their elven lineage, but their skin color is dictated by their human side. While half-elves retain the pointed ears of elves, theirs are more rounded and less pronounced. A half-elf's human-like eyes tend to range a spectrum of exotic colors, running from amber or violet to emerald green and deep blue. So, hard pass on those skills? Ooh, half-orc. Take this, it's not safe to go alone. Just watch the new Futurama, it's my favorite of the season so far. Fuck yeah. Dude, that is high praise, so I'm excited. I haven't seen it yet. I gotta remind myself to watch that after this is done. Half-orcs get the worst of both worlds. Still, while not exactly accepted, half-orcs in civilized societies tend to be valued for their martial prowess. They are usually forced to grow up hard and fast, constantly fighting for protection, or to make names for themselves. Feared, distrusted, and spat upon, half-orcs still consistently manage to surprise their detractors with great deeds and unexpected wisdom, though sometimes it's easier just to crack a few skulls. Both genders of half-orcs stand between 6 and 7 feet tall, with powerful builds and greenish or grayish skin. Their canines often grow long enough to protrude from their mouths, and these tusks, combined with heavy brows and slightly pointed ears, give them their notoriously bestial appearance. While half-orcs may be impressive, A few ever describe them as beautiful. Hilarious. Half-orcs gain an additional skill rank at first level, and 1 additional rank whenever they gain a level. That's really good. +2 racial bonus on persuasion checks when used to intimidate. Great axes, falcons. When a half-orc is brought below 0 hit points but not killed, he can fight on for 1 more round as if disabled. At the end of his next turn, unless brought to above 0 hit points, he immediately falls unconscious. That's really good too. Ooh, tough one between dwarfs and half-orcs right now. Aasimar. Aasimars are humans with a significant amount of celestial or other good outsider blood in their ancestry. While not always benevolent, Aasimars are more inclined toward acts of kindness rather than evil. Aasimar heritage can lie dormant for generations, only to appear suddenly in the child of 2 apparently human parents. Most societies interpret Aasimar births as good omens, though it must be acknowledged that some Aasimars take advantage of the reputation of their kind, brutally subverting the expectations of others with acts of terrifying cruelty or abject venality. Aasimars look mostly human except for some minor physical trait that reveals their unusual heritage. Typical Aasimar features are hair that shines like metal, unusual eye or skin color, or others. Interesting. Sweet. Yes, everyone, please welcome in Tuck, who, as Dark has announced, and you can probably see just by the sword next to his name, has been given the role of moderator. I would say he accepted it, but it was kind of thrust upon him, so I appreciate you, man. Most Aasimars do not know exactly where their celestial powers come from, and the similar qualities of many such celestially touched beings hint at a relatively indistinct or all-encompassing heavenly force in their lineage. Some, however, possess more unique traits and abilities, inherited from their supernal forebears. Attributes that hint at the precise type of celestial being that affected their ancestors. I don't know what that means. Aasimars possess the ability to manifest halos. They can create light centered on their head at will. +2 circumstance bonus on saving throws against being blinded or dazzled. Ooh, that resistance is nice. Acid, cold, and electricity. Okay. And then tieflings. I wasn't given a choice. You were not. Simultaneously more and less than mortal. Tieflings are the offspring of humans and fiends. With otherworldly blood and traits to match, tieflings are often shunned and despised out of reactionary fear. Most tieflings never know their fiendish sire, as the couple that produced their curse occurred generations earlier. The taint is long-lasting and persistent, often manifesting at birth, or sometimes later in life, as a powerful, though often unwanted boon. Despite their fiendish appearance and netherworld origins, tieflings have a human's capacity of choosing their fate. And while many embrace their dark heritage and side with fiendish powers, others reject their darker predilections, though the power of their blood calls nearly every tiefling to fury, destruction, and wrath. Even the spawn of a succubus can become a saint, and the grandchild of a pit fiend, an unsuspecting hero. They have that same resistance. Nope, it's different slightly. Cold, electricity, and fire. Though many tieflings follow the general model of the tiefling, many more do not. Those of different lineages may evince dramatically different manifestations of their heritage, both in appearance and in ability. Others have particularly strong heritages tied to specific fiendish races. I think I'm going dwarf. It's dwarf or half-orc. They're more resistant to spells. They're just better in battle in general. I really like skilled, though, and I could be intimidating. I could do like a loosely mean character if I were to do an orc. You know what? I'm torn. We're gonna do a poll while I decide my class. 2 minutes on the clock. Holy shit, there's 16 classes. All right, I'm gonna go to the ones that make sense for a half-orc or a dwarf. Alchemist's reputation is not softened by his exuberance, some would say dangerous recklessness, in perfecting his magical extracts and potion-like creations, infusing these substances with magic siphoned from his aura and using his own body as experimental stock. Nor is it mollified by the alchemist's almost gleeful passion for building explosive bombs and discovering strange new poisons and methods for their use. These traits, while making him a liability and a risk for most civilized organizations and institutions of higher learning, seem to fit quite well within most adventuring groups. Could be interesting. Barbarian's a barbarian, come on now. Barbarians excel in combat, possessing the martial prowess and fortitude to take on foes seemingly far superior to themselves. With rage granting them boldness and daring beyond that of most other warriors, barbarians charge furiously into battle, and ruin all who would stand in their way. Oh, I have to be neutral? That's weird. I don't know if I like that. Bard, no. Cleric, no. Druid, maybe? While some druids might keep to the fringe of battle, allowing companions and summoned creatures to fight while they confound foes with the powers of nature, Others transform into deadly beasts and savagely wade into combat. Druids worship personifications of elemental forces, natural powers, or nature itself. Typically, this means devotion to a nature deity, though druids are just as likely to revere vague spirits, animalistic demigods, or even specific awe-inspiring natural wonders. I feel like probably not on that. Fighters excel at combat, defeating their enemies, controlling the flow of battle, and surviving such sorties themselves. While their specific weapons and methods grant them a wide variety of tactics, few can match fighters for sheer battle prowess. What is this? Inquisitors tend to move from place to place, chasing down enemies and researching emerging threats. As a result, they often travel with others, if for no other reason than to mask their presence. Inquisitors work with members of their faith whenever possible, but even such allies are not above suspicion. So it's like an Avenger, kind of. Damn. All kinds of skills. What race? Half-orc one? Cool. Thank you. He looks cool. Kineticists are living channels for elemental matter and energy, manipulating the world around them by drawing upon inner reserves from their own bodies. Kineticists often awaken their kinetic abilities during a violent or traumatic experience, releasing their power involuntarily. As kinetic power is seldom inherited, kineticists are rarely able to find mentors to guide them, so they must delve into these mysteries on their own to learn to control their gifts. Kineticists generally use their powers to assail their foes from range, but based on the way their talents develop, they can channel their kinetic abilities for a variety of situations. Kineticists are usually quite different from their families and friends, so they often strike out on their own, or alongside others with extraordinary talents. Seems more like a magic caster. Magi spend much of their time traveling the world, learning whatever martial or arcane secrets they can find. They might spend months learning a new sword fighting style from a master warrior, while simultaneously moonlighting in the local library, poring through tomes of ancient lore. Most who take up this path dabble in all sorts of lore, picking up anything that might aid them in their search for perfection. Monks excel at overcoming even the most daunting perils, striking where it's least expected, and taking advantage of enemy vulnerabilities. Fleet of foot and skilled in combat, monks can navigate battlefield with ease, aiding allies wherever they are needed most. No. Maybe. Rogues excel at moving about unseen and catching foes unaware, and tend to avoid head-to-head combat. Their varied skills and abilities allow them to be highly versatile, with great variations in expertise existing between different rogues. Most, however, excel in overcoming hindrances of all types, from unlocking doors and disarming traps, to outwitting magical hazards and cunning, dull-witted opponents. Slayer. Skilled at tracking down targets, slayers are consummate hunters, living for the chase and the deadly stroke that brings it to a close. Slayers spend most of their time on honing their weapon skills, studying the habits and anatomy of foes, and practicing combat maneuvers. Okay, we are playing a new game. How you doing tonight, Dre? We just beat Pillars of Eternity tonight. No and no. Okay, so I got some options here. I'm not necessarily going to take what you guys recommend here, because I want to, make sure that I'm having fun with whatever I'm playing, but I need your help narrowing it down at least. I'm going to give you guys those 2 minutes to choose your favorite class. It's this guy with the funky hat. He, chases down targets. Kind of like an Avenger is what I'm gathering out of this, if you've ever played D&D. Which I don't think you have, but it's the Carmen San Diego. Is that where we're going with this? I love it. I think I know what I'm leaning towards, but I hate the fact that it's a neutral build. I don't want to stay neutral, if that's what that's telling me. Alchemist seems really interesting. Oh, geez. All right. Well, apparently y'all want me to be an alchemist, which I think I'm cool with. I kind of do want to try that out. My problem with it is, does it make sense for a half-orc? I feel like it kind of does. I feel like if I'm going to try alchemist, I might go back to dwarf. You know what? You're right, Tuck. That is what makes it fun. Let's go with it. Screw it. Trying it out. Ooh, I didn't even realize that there were archetypes. All of them have archetypes? Oh my god, they all do. Alright, we've already settled on Alchemist. Let's pick at the archetype next. Grenadiers tend to exercise their talents in the thick of battle, even when not under the influence of their mutagens. They learn methods of combining weapon attacks with their alchemical magic, and sacrifice skill with poisons in order to become more adept at using alchemical bombs or using alchemical items in conjunction with their martial skills. As an unusual side effect of their skill at handling bombs and alchemical items with increased speed, Grenadiers master the ability to drink potions, elixirs, and mutagens quickly and safely, without exposing themselves to peril while doing so. Okay, I'm thinking that over Alchemist. A vivisectionist studies bodies to better understand their function. Unlike a chirurgeon, a vivisectionist's goals are not related to healing, but rather to experimentation and knowledge that most people would consider evil. Ooh. An alchemist who studies anatomy and uses this knowledge to heal. Wow, what a great description. That was so detailed and thorough. Okay, I'm torn between these two. So this seems more like a sort of rogue, but not. And then this one is like The Witcher, is my is my understanding. So one of these two for sure. I feel like I'm gonna forget to use potions half the time, so let's go with Vivisectionist. What is the difference between these two? I'm not seeing one. Yeah, let's go with this guy, I guess. Oh, that's cool. You can make him right-handed or left-handed. That's so random. I like that. I wonder if that comes into play at all. I hope it does, but it looks like it's just an appearance thing. Like if I had to assume, it'd be a no. We're gonna go with this derpy guy. Ooh. 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 Kinda like that. Don't mind the yellow either, like the goldish. The blue and the purple look silly. That doesn't look too bad. I think I'm gonna go with the yellowy one. Oh no, that's a hairstyle. Oh my god. What's his name, Tuck? You know of whom I speak. It's the fucking Gerard Butler of orcs. I'm doing it. I wish I could zoom in. Oh my god, you guys can barely even frickin' see it with the chat. Here you go. Try that. Alright. I think I'm down with that. Okay. What do I need? I didn't even consider what I needed. Shoot, it doesn't tell me either. Ah, here we go. Sneak attack. I mean, alright. Makes an incredible medical discovery. The DC of any saving throw called for by a discovery is equal to 10 plus 1/2. Intelligence modifier is important. Alright. Dexterity's gotta be thrown, right? So my guess is I'm gonna be using like short weapons. Alright, I'm totally guessing here. I don't know if strength is important or not. That's the problem that I'm having here. And what is my dump stat? Like, could strength be my dump stat? No, it wouldn't. That wouldn't make sense. Oh. There we go. All right. Let's do, yeah, if I'm assuming that if I'm using daggers and stuff, dexterity is probably better. Wouldn't need strength. Intelligence at 16 is probably fine. Constitution, I think that's going to be my stat layout for now. And you're right, if I find out that this sucks, I can change it later. So charisma, or persuasion is a charisma spell, or skill. That's weird. Oh, this is going to be... I feel like I'm going to spend a lot of time leveling up in this game, which is typical for most D&D campaigns. Oh, 1 per level. Okay. Gotcha. All right, so I just need to choose my top 6 here. That. Mobility skills, move near opponents without provoking attacks of opportunity, keep your balance, escape from restraints, bake your falls, squeeze through tight spots, and so on. Okay. And I feel like putting that to 0 is probably important. Yeah. I'm good with this. Why did that go up by... Oh, because those get... Well then, screw that. Yeah, okay, so for my proficient skills, each point gives me a +4 bonus. So I feel like I'm kind of roped into doing those just to make them better. Yeah. Mobility's already reasonably high. Yeah, let's go with that. And now feats. Oh boy. Welcome to Dungeons and Dragons. Weapon finesse is good. It's decent, actually. Choose to get -1 penalty on melee attack rolls and combat maneuver checks, +1 die bonus to AC. That's a maybe. A number of additional attacks of opportunity per round equal to your dexterity bonus. Ooh, I really like that. That's a big maybe. Adjacent to an ally. Nope. Persuasion and trickery skill checks. If you have 10 or more ranks in one of these skills, the bonuses increases to +4 for that skill. That could be beneficial later, but not yet. Treat your total hit dice as your base attack bonus when calculating your combat maneuver defense. Trickery and use magic device. +1 dodge bonus to AC. That's pretty good. That's a big maybe. Heighten spell, maximize quicken spell. Ooh, ouch though. No thank you. I always thought only geeks play D&D, but it is pretty fun. The options and mobility makes it enjoyable. Dude, I play D&D every Sunday, and I am a wicked geek. So, I guess I can't help you there. I love D&D though. It's one of the highlights of my life. Adjacent to an ally who has this feat? No. That's pretty good. +1 DC for all saving throws against spells from a school of magic you select. Spell resistance. Do I attack with spell resistance? I need to figure out how I attack. 3 hit points. For every hit die you possess beyond 3, you gain an additional 1 hit point. Toughness is pretty good. Why would it say no? Because it cannot exceed half my character level, so it would be pointless this early on. Gotcha. And then these are all things I cannot do. So, I think I want this. Weapon finesse. Oh, Jesus. Here we go. Okay. D&D is great fun, especially if you find a group of friends who enjoy it just as much. The creativity that you can put into it, trying to challenge not only the DM, but your fellow players makes it so much fun. Dude, I couldn't agree more. God, I miss playing D&D with, like, people in person, with you and Blanchy. We had a good team for a while there. Chris, I don't play because if one of my friends found out, I wouldn't hear the end of it. Ah, dude, you gotta stop caring what other people think, man. I mean, this just makes me better all around, so yes. Magical fire warms your belly, granting you fire resistance 5 and making your gut hot to the touch, but not hot enough to damage you or anything else. As a standard action, you can breathe a 15-foot cone of flame that deals 1d4 points of fire damage. Each time you use this breath weapon, the remaining duration of the spell is reduced by 1 minute. I feel like that's a maybe. I mean, I have a bunch of spells anyways. This is a big maybe. Shield. Invisible shield of force that hovers in front of you. It negates magic missile attacks directed at you. The disc also provides a +4 shield bonus to AC. Bonus applies against incorporeal touch attacks since it is a force effect. Shield has no armor check penalty or arcane spell failure chance. When you throw bombs, they can only hit a direct target. They do not splash. However, the bomb deals its base damage plus double your intelligence modifier instead of just its base damage plus your intelligence modifier. Gain temporary intuitive insight into the immediate future during your next attack. Your next single attack roll, if it is made before the end of the next round, gains a +20 insight bonus. Additionally, if you are not affected by the mischance that applies to attackers trying to strike a concealed target. That's better than the one that there is in BG3, I'll tell you that. Transforms your hands into living stone. While the spell is in effect, your unarmed strikes do not provoke attacks of opportunity. I think it can fire belly for situational. It's a very interesting one. It's going to be a very weird playthrough for me. True neutral. Why would I be anything else? Honestly, though, kind of chaotic neutral. Dude, I know. They take so long, though. The group that I play with, I mean, we've been playing for over 9 years. We're going into our 10th year, and we are on our 3rd campaign. Like, we're partially starting our 3rd. We just hit level 8, actually, the other day. They take so long. You guys are going to be the ones listening to this. Let's get that poll up.
I'll just have everything on the menu.
We will be ending the stream fairly quickly after this. I have to wake up to bring Chloe to school in the morning, which is awesome. But she's loving 6th grade so far. It's only been a day, but she's having a great time. Always takes me the longest to create a character. I don't even know if I'm going to like Alchemist. This is going to be a very interesting playthrough, but I'm willing to give it a try. And if I don't, I can always switch over to Barbarian. Yeah, she has a lot of the friends that she had in her class last year are in her class, so that's awesome. Her teacher seems really strict. They were the only class that got homework on the first day, so that's something. I mean, it was easy homework, but still, it's the principle of the thing. And yeah, no, otherwise she's liking it. So I can't believe she's in 6th grade already, man. Freaking wild. What the hell is my life? My daughter is almost as old as Dre. That's messed up.
Get it off me! Burn! Slice! Behead!
Ooh, I didn't see these before. Very cool. Ooh. I can increase my armor and my constitution, or my dexterity in my armor. Ooh, I like these. Let's do it. 6th grade. I think that's maybe what you were thinking.
Our story started at the mansion of an Aldori sword lord. Drawn by the promise of a most dangerous task and a commensurately huge reward, heroes of all stripes gathered here.
Where are they? This is taking forever! They didn't even say what this was for, just that the Aldori were looking for heroes. Who are the Aldori anyway? Rich folk?
This is coming back to me. Holy crap.
If you can't be patient, no one's keeping you here. Just go back to your mountains or whatever hole you crawled out of. The Aldori Sword Lords run the premier school for the dueling arts. They're also the richest and most influential group in this part of Brevoy. Take that tone with them, and they'll teach you some manners pretty quickly.
The Aldori Sword Lords arose when famed swordsman Baron Syrian Aldori agreed to train a select group of pupils in his dueling techniques. They ruled Rostland for generations, each as prickly and impulsive as the Order's founder. Though they are considered some of the finest sword fighters in the Inner Sea region, they are also obsessed with personal standing and honor. Brevoy is a relatively young nation, having only existed since 4499. The history of Brevoy before this time is the history of 2 often warring nations, Issia and Rostland. The coming of Coral the Conqueror changed all this. After securing the defeat and surrender of the 2 nations, Coral christened his family house Rogarvia. Its rule ended with the mysterious disappearance of every member of House Rogarvia in 4699 AR, leaving Brevoy in a precarious political position.
All right, you purple toad, just shut your trap. And if you can't, I'll help you.
Hush! Quiet! They're coming.
Greetings, everyone. I am Sword Lord Jamandi Aldori, and this is Lord Mayor Yosef Selimius of Restov. Welcome to my mansion.
She definitely just said Sword Lord. Rostov is one of the two largest cities in the fertile region of Rostland in southern Brevoy. Lord Mayor Yosef Selimius leads the city, which is a trade and cultural center that borders the river kingdoms, the Shrike River, and the Stolen Lands. As the birthplace of the Aldori dueling style, the city boasts several Aldori and Taldan dueling schools, which has led to the city being a favored place for young nobles to practice dueling championships. Most prominent among them is the Aldori Academy, widely regarded as the region's finest war college.
We thank you from the bottom of our hearts for responding to our call. You may be few, but that's unavoidable. We need only the best of the best for this task. And I see true heroes before me, strong and fearless, exactly what Rostov needs.
The mayor, a middle-aged man with bushy sideburns and a monocle, wears a beaming smile.
Thank you, Lord Mayor. Now, to the point. South of here, just beyond Brevoy's border, lies a region known as the Stolen Lands. This is disputed territory, and while it's long been claimed by nearby states, it's never been truly taken. I won't bore you with the legal technicalities. Suffice to say that anyone with enough courage and power to seize the Stolen Lands and name themselves Baron or Baroness, claiming dominion, well, none of the neighboring states would be able to challenge it. Of course, Rostov would be first to recognize the legitimacy of this new state, as well as the noble title of its founder.
The Stolen Lands are an almost wholly unsettled region in the northeastern section of the River Kingdoms, bordering the nation of Brevoy and serving as a buffer between Brevoy and the River Kingdoms. Traditionally the haunt of bandits and monstrous humanoids, the Stolen Lands are regarded as stolen by all nations along their border, even though none have ever been able to keep these realms under their control for long.
Unfortunately, one serious obstacle stands between you and this title. A gang of bandits holds sway in the Stolen Lands. Their chief, who they call the Stag Lord, considers himself the rightful owner of these lands, and no one has yet been able to challenge his power. Bring me his head, and you'll be able to return to the Stolen Lands as their legal ruler. Any questions?
You're helping us found a barony? What do you gain from such generosity?
Don't ask stupid questions. Why should you even care? What they have to gain and why, that's for Lady Aldori and I to discuss. It's none of your concern. Your only concern is to swing your sword around, or whatever it is you do.
Of course, we stand to benefit from this enterprise. But if you're concerned that we intend to rule your country from afar, using you as a front, well, please know that these concerns are unfounded. Let's just say that we have a strong interest in the region's stability. We have need of a ruling power we can negotiate with, not bandit gangs and monster hordes.
What is that smell in the air? Is it the smell of unspoken words and political intrigue?
A tiefling girl is standing nearby, speaking in a hushed voice. Noticing you've heard her comment, she winks at you coyly. Okay, but there's a whole team of us. Who exactly will be receiving the Baron's title?
I will, of course. I'm the leader of this team, after all. Don't worry, though. I'll make it worth your while to help me.
We haven't yet begun, and you already speak of divvying rewards. What makes you think we'll even succeed? There's little point arguing over who gains the title when we'll most likely lose our lives there.
If I may please answer the question.
She takes a long pause, waiting for the voices to die down, as everyone directs their attention towards her.
We believe you're all equally deserving of a noble title. Over the course of your expedition, it will be up to you as a team to decide which of you is best suited to rule.
So what rewards can we expect exactly?
And what reward would you seek beyond a noble title and your own lands?
The Lord Mayor's eyebrows rise so far, he almost drops his monocle.
We'll absorb the costs of preparing and equipping your expeditions. Once you return victorious, Restov will also allocate you a significant sum to provide financial support for you to establish your country. Essentially, we'll help you build your capital. I hope such a reward is satisfactory.
Words, words, words. Significant, financial. I can't fill my belly with pretty words.
Of course. There will also be an official banquet held in your honor. All of Rostov's high society will gather to celebrate your feat.
Now you're talking.
Well, it's as clear as day.
Excellent. You venture forth tomorrow. For now, you can take some time to get to know one another better. Or you can head straight to your guest rooms to get some rest. You'll find we've already prepared supplies for you there. And thank you again for agreeing to take part in this expedition. I wish you luck.
Thank you again, with all my heart, for replying to this call. The flare in your eyes reveals your courage, the unshakable will that distinguishes true heroes. I look at you, O champions of Restov, and doubt not for a second that you'll be victorious. So venture forth toward your feet. Go, and return in triumph.
Hi, my name's Lindsay. I'm a bard, though this is my first real adventure. So, shall we go teach this stag lord a lesson?
I'm Davos. Pleased to meet you.
Likewise. Actually, I also wanted to ask you something. How do you feel about this Tartuccio fellow? I think he's pretty obnoxious, personally. He appointed himself head of the team, and he's just after the Baron's crown, or whatever it is barons wear. Doesn't matter. I don't like him. I think you should be team leader. When I first saw you, I couldn't help but think, now here's a real hero. Someone who'll be praised in poems and songs. This is the person I'll write my book about.
Lindsay blushes a little. Wait, a book?
Damn, I should have led with that. Please, just let me explain. You know what the trouble with most heroes' biographies is? They're always written years later, based on the tales of, best case, people who saw things from the outside. Worst case, someone heard about it from their brother, who heard it from their friend, who heard it from their cousin, and so on, adding a new batch of lies each time. Every time I read about a heroic journey, I think to myself, why didn't they just bring a bard with them to write it all down properly? And then I thought, I could be that bard. I just needed to find a suitable hero and volunteer to follow along on their glorious adventure. A great plan, huh? And here we are, with a heroic journey lying before us. Who's going to be the hero? Some dwarf who keeps muttering about how we'll all die? Or maybe that horrific scythe lady? Or, God's forbid, Tartuccio? No way.
What about that barbarian? She looks pretty heroic. I think her name's Amiri.
Oh yeah, she's fantastic. You can tell she could tear a bear's head off with her bare hands, but she kind of scares me just a little. But, I mean, her sword's twice as big as I am. She could cut me down without even noticing. Just think on it a bit, all right? I'm sure you'll agree. All right, I'm going to my room to write about tonight. See you in the morning.
All right. So first things first, turn the music down even more. I can't believe how loud it is. We're gonna drop the ambient volume as well. That's a little better. I don't think I ever picked a portrait, and I hope that white bar isn't just gonna be the portrait forever. There we go. Cool. All right, that's gonna be the game for the night, because like I said, it is past 1 o'clock, and I need to do things in the morning. Like folklore being passed down and people telling it differently each time that the original gets tainted. Yeah, dude, I agree. It's like the game Telephone. That's exactly what happens. She's too damn cheerful for what's about to happen, which means she doesn't fully understand the situation. 2, she's the annoying news reporter who's constantly getting in the way for the facts or story. 3, these characters never survive. I disagree, Dandelion. Thank you for being here, Dark. And thank you everyone else for being here as well. I appreciate you all very, very much. Okay, but he only showed up every so often, if I remember correctly, right? I mean, no, he was there for a while in the beginning, and then they had their falling out, and then he started showing up every so often. But he, like, during the initial tales, I guess, they were like side by side, inseparable for years. It was a very long time that they traveled together. But in fairness, I could be misremembering as well. So don't hold me to that, but anyways, Who's online? Who'll be raiding tonight? I know who we can raid. Take a wild guess, everyone, at who we're going to be going to say hi to. Aethys Confronted. I like that one. Okay, if she doesn't die, she's going to get someone important killed. I think that's more likely, but we'll see. She might die too. You never know. I only played Witcher 3, so I don't know the whole story. Oh, that's fair. Didn't you own Witcher 2? I swear I only played that because you owned it. But I guess just because you owned it doesn't mean you ever played it. But anyways, everyone, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me tonight. We're about to raid over, so don't forget to check us on YouTube, 2 videos, and have a wonderful evening.